On February 14th, 2022, Ottawa froze 280 bank accounts in under 6 hours. No judge, no warrant, no appeal. A single cabinet meeting. 28 phone calls to compliance officers at RBC, TD, Scotiabank, BMO, and CIBC. And ordinary Canadians watched their mortgages, their groceries, their children's tuition vanish from their screens before lunch. 8 months. That's how long I spent cross-referencing the Emergencies Act, the 1988 transition from the War Measures Act, and every documented federal asset action since the October crisis of 1970. What I found rewrites everything you think you own: your checking account, your ammunition locker, your insulin, your propane. All of it sits inside the legal reach of a single cabinet decision. Tonight, 5 asset classes Ottawa touches first, and the legal decentralization protocols that make them disappear from the seizure map. The sheep think ownership means possession. The informed no ownership means distance. Asset 1. Cash and liquid bank assets. The 2022 invocation wasn't a threat. It was a demonstration. Section 8 of the Emergencies Act permits the regulation and prohibition of financial transactions. The Bank of Canada Act, Section 18, extends that further. Together, they proved one thing: your digital dollars are permission, not property. Most Canadians keep 100% of their liquidity inside the Big Five: checking, savings, tax-free accounts. One phone call freezes all of it. Informed Canadians operate differently. They hold $2,000 to $5,000 in Canadian paper currency, plus roughly $500 American dollars, distributed across 2 locations: a home safe and a credit union safety deposit box. Why a credit union? Credit unions operate under provincial charter. Federally regulated banks responded to the 2022 orders within hours. Provincial credit unions responded slower. Some didn't respond at all until formal clarification arrived days later. That delay is not a guarantee. It's a gap, and a gap is distance. Your specifications are simple. A Sentry-Safe fireproof bag from Canadian Tire runs $39.99. A Vanguard Credit Union deposit box averages $45 per year. Combined cost, under $100. Digital money is a promise. Paper money is a fact. Asset 2. Firearms and ammunition. The RCMP already has your rifle's serial number, your PAL number, your address. They don't have your ammunition count. Registered owners assume compliance equals protection. It doesn't. Section 19 of the Emergencies Act authorizes the regulation of the use of property. The 2020 Order in Council, OIC 2020-0298, reclassified roughly 1,500 firearm models overnight. No parliament, no debate, a signature. What they can't inventory matters more than what they can. Ammunition isn't serialized. Canadian Tire and Cabela's Canada sell 20-round boxes between $32 and $55. Bulk pricing drops that further. A Liberty trigger lock safe runs under $200 at most Canadian retailers. But the tactic matters more than the purchase. Study Swiss militia doctrine. Study the Finnish Winter War of 1939. Rural Finnish households dispersed their reserves across multiple cache points before the Soviet advance. 60% of civilian stockpiles survived confiscation efforts, not because the reserves were hidden well, because they were hidden apart. Rural Saskatchewan and northern Ontario terrain offer the same opportunity. Outbuildings, secondary properties, trusted family locations across provincial lines. They tracked the rifle. They forgot the cartridge. Asset 3, fuel and generators. Section 8 of the Emergencies Act explicitly names fuel. The 1979 oil crisis proved rationing mechanisms arrive in 72 hours. Gas coupons existed in draft form within a week. Most Canadian stores zero fuel. Or one Princess Auto Jerry can have untreated gasoline that oxidizes into varnish within 90 days. That's not a reserve. That's a liability. Informed Canadians operate a 3-tier hierarchy. Tier 1. 60 liters of gasoline treated with PRIG stabilizer. PRIG extends viable storage past 24 months. Without it, you're burning garbage by spring. Tier 2. Diesel. Shelf life runs 18 months untreated. but diesel gels at -9 degrees Celsius. In Yellowknife or Winnipeg at -30, untreated diesel is a brick. You need winter blend or anti-gel additive. Victoria households can ignore this. Prairie households cannot. Tier 3. Propane. Indefinite shelf life. Zero degradation. A 20-pound Costco propane tank stores for decades. And here's the detail most miss. E-propane purchases aren't registered at point of sale the way gasoline purchases are. Every Interact transaction at the pump leaves a trail. Propane exchanges at Canadian Tire or Home Hardware leave almost nothing. A Champion 2,000-watt inverter generator runs $599 at Canadian Tire. NATO spec jerry cans at Princess Auto, $84.99 each. Now the caching model. 3 locations: house, garage, or outbuilding. Off-site, ideally rural. Never consolidate. Consolidation is confiscation with fewer steps. Winter viscosity math matters. At -30 Celsius, gasoline thickens, small engines seize, generator carburetors fail on first pull. Heated storage or fuel rotation into vehicles during cold snaps keeps your Tier 1 reserve alive. Gasoline dies, diesel waits. Propane remembers nothing. Remember the February 14th number. 280 accounts, 6 hours. That same legal instrument reaches every liter in your shed. Asset 4. Prescription medications and insulin. This is the one most people miss. The 28-day package insert on insulin isn't chemistry, it's legal liability. Lilly and Novo Nordisk stability data shows insulin maintains therapeutic viability at 4 degrees Celsius for significantly longer than the pharmacy label states. Refrigerated unopened vials remain potent for months under controlled conditions. Type 1 diabetics accept pharmacy dependency as permanent. It isn't. It's convenient. Build a 60-day reserve for $40. Here's the math, and you'll want to screenshot this. A Dollarama soft cooler. $4. E-frozen 1-liter water bottles rotated every 48 hours. Zero ongoing cost. A root cellar or basement corner holding 4 to 8 degrees Celsius naturally through Canadian winters. Zero ongoing cost. Total build cost. Under $40. Pharmacy dependency cost at standard supply. Roughly $180 per month, depending on province and coverage. Cost efficiency ratio, 450% in your favor. And the supplies beyond insulin. Blood pressure medications, thyroid prescriptions, antibiotics, all carry conservative expiry labels that mask their actual chemistry. Cool, dark, dry. Those 3 conditions extend most pharmaceutical viability far beyond the printed date. The 28 days is their liability. The 60 days is your chemistry. Asset 5. Gold, silver, and pre-1968 Canadian silver coinage. Executive Order 6102, signed in 1933 south of the border, forced private citizens to surrender gold holdings to the government at fixed price. Months later, the government revalued that same gold upward by nearly 70%. The lesson isn't American, it's universal. Governments that can confiscate metal will revalue it. Conventional preppers buy numbered bullion. Royal Canadian Mint maple leafs, serialized. Reportable above $10,000 under FIN-track rules. Traceable from mint to dealer to buyer. Informed preppers accumulate pre-1968 Canadian dimes, quarters, and half dollars. 80% silver content. Still legal tender. Circulate invisibly. Carry no serial numbers. Leave no paper trail when purchased in cash from coin shops in Calgary, Toronto, and Halifax at roughly 18 to 22 times face value. Study the 1990s Yugoslav hyperinflation. Urban families traded single silver coins for loaves of bread when paper currency became wallpaper. Not bars, not bullion. Coins, caching matters. A Canadian Tire ammo can cost $14.99. PVC pipe buried at 18 inches defeats the pulse patterns of a Garrett AT Pro metal detector operating at standard ground settings. A Decoy safe in the house, holding modest cash and costume jewelry, satisfies the first search and protects the real cash. Paper asks permission. Silver asks nothing. Now bring it together. 5 asset classes, 5 detection vectors, 1 protocol, distance, decoy, disperse. Distance from centralized custody. Your money lives outside the big five. Your fuel lives across 3 sites. Your metal lives underground. Decoy at every layer. A visible safe that satisfies a search. A registered firearm that satisfies a registry. A surface-level pharmacy supply that satisfies appearances. Disperse across geography, across legal jurisdictions, across detection methods. Nothing consolidated, nothing cataloged, nothing findable in a single warrant. This is the Ghost Protocol, and Canadians who run it own what cannot be found. The October crisis of 1970 invoked the War Measures Act. Hundreds detained without charge in Quebec. That precedent never disappeared. It transitioned into the Emergencies Act in 1988. It woke up on February 14th, 2022. It sleeps now, thinly. You have 2 choices. Trust that the cabinet meeting never comes. Or build the distance now, while the banks are still open, while the shelves are still stocked, while the coin shops still take cash. The sheep own what the system allows. The ghosts own what the system can't see. Asset 6, the one they can't seize because it lives between your ears. Tradecraft, knowledge. The ability to read a legal instrument before it reads you. That's the subject of the next briefing. Which asset class are you most exposed on right now? Cash, fuel, or medication? Drop your province and your answer. Distance, decoy, disperse. Commit the 3 words. Build the 5 layers. Own what cannot be found.